Okay, Prakash, I think we can start.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. We are here at the Data Center Telco Communication Transformation, DTC transformation as we call, and this is the series second uh, in our continuation of the Teaching and Learning Center from Ramanujan College University of Delhi under Ministry of Education for the Pandit Madanmohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. So we have here a presentation from our great Piyush Somani, who is the what you call the managing director of ESDS, a data center provider with several major hyperscaler data centers starting Nashik, Mumbai, Delhi, and he is coming from a very humble background. He started as system administrator, managing hosted business with a single PC, and that was at the age of 23, you can believe, and then built his business around real life with medium scale industry entrepreneurs and business customers, and today stands as a homegrown hosted solution provider with several banks, manufacturers, healthcare, education, government, retail, and logistic providers. So we welcome here ESDS, which has got more than 200 plus BSE NSE listed company with 250 plus government organization, and a very powerful leader of India, and we look forward to his constant guidance. And with that, I will hand over to Piyush Somani for the first inaugural speech for the our audience, which is consisting of great education faculty, and who promote and who will fan it out to the students they have to be able to learn from the leaders. Thank you, Piyush. Welcome. Go ahead, and it's your floor to take. I can let you share. Go ahead. I'll stop sharing.
Thanks a lot, Prakash. Thanks for the introduction. So let me put up my presentation here. Just a minute. So I'll give a quick overview of who we are and what does ESDS do in the market. And then I would like to open the floor for discussion so that we can have more question and answers, it can be an interactive session post that. So a disclaimer from the company side, because we are in the process of going for an IPO. So we have to make sure that anything that we present anywhere, we have to put a disclaimer in place. So ESDS is amongst India's leading managed cloud services and end-to-end multi-cloud solution provider. And we provide cloud computing infrastructure as a service, software as a service, managed services. And our diversified portfolio positions ESDS as a one-stop shop for customers' cloud adoption. And we serve our customer with a differentiated billing model. Vision statement of the company: to co-create a technology advanced greener planet. And we have missions 4B and 1B. First mission is to connect 1 billion people. Today, more than 650 million Indians get connected to our cloud and our data centers over a fortnight. To connect 1 billion devices, so world's largest IoT project, and which is happening in India, which is ESL Smart Metering. That project is going live in multiple phases from our cloud platform. So far, 25 lakh smart meters have gone live, and many ATMs and POS machines of banks and public distribution system, they are also connected to our cloud. So we have an aspiration to connect 1 billion devices to our cloud platform over a couple of years' time. To plant 1 billion trees, this is a very close to our heart, and the most important mission for us, that we have to achieve this over next couple of years' time, and to become a $1 billion enterprise. So a look at who we are, our numbers. I'll quickly run through this, and I'll talk about the journey of the company. ESDS was launched in ESDS was incorporated in India in the year 2005, but those initial 5 years, 6 years, we continued to focus on the international business only. We started offering cloud services in India in 2011, and we launched our Enlight cloud platform. We started a data center also in Nashik, and this patented, later on we got the patent also. So we are the only company in the world to have real-time vertical auto scaling technology in cloud, and we've got American patent and UK patent for the same. Later on, we launched a Navi Mumbai data center also and entered into rate contract with the government of Maharashtra. In 2018, June 2018, we got investment from GF Capital in the company, and we launched one more data center later on. We've been consistently there as a great place to work from last 6 years. In infrastructure as a service, we offer public cloud, private cloud, virtual private cloud, hybrid cloud, community cloud. And software as a service, we have multiple SaaS offerings that I will discuss later on. And then we are one of the strongest player in India, because we started our business in the year 2005 as a managed services company. So we are very, very strong in managed services also. So let me run through. You all are aware of this, that the data is growing, internet digital transformation is growing at a massive pace right now in India. ESDS has a very key role in India to play in transformation of SME sector, SME and MSME sector. I'll just take you through the USPs. So these are some of the USPs of the company. We are the only cloud service provider to offer a paper consumption billing model, paper branch billing model, paper transaction billing model. And as mentioned by Prakash as well, that we host more than 250 government organizations on our cloud platform. 200 BSE, NSE listed companies are there on our cloud platform, and 450 plus banks are there on our cloud platform. These are some of the customers that ESDS has got. In this, there are 7 Fortune 500 companies that are there in our list of customers. And the data centers, we have one in Nashik, Bangalore, Mumbai. Management team of the company. So I am a first generation entrepreneur. I started ESDS 16 years back, registered in the year 2005. And initially we were an outsourced hosting support provider like managed services, and later on diversified into data center business. And then simultaneously we started cloud services also in India. And I did my engineering from Pune University. So there's a college here called Amrutwani College of Engineering. I completed my engineering from there. And there's a story behind how I became an entrepreneur. I am sure that you would be interested to understand the story. So I wanted to become a mechanical engineer. I had no interest in computers during my school days. And that's the reason, like in engineering also, after doing my HSC, like after doing my 12th, I wanted to take admission in mechanical engineering only. That was my aspiration, to become a mechanical engineer. Unfortunately, because my numbers were not so good at that time, and the university had changed the entire admission process, so I was left with no option but to take electronics engineering. And then after taking electronics engineering, I still did not wanted to do anything related to computers. But because I failed in the first year of engineering, I had to sit home for 1 year. So in that period, my father forced me to learn computers. He said the world tomorrow is going to run on computers only. So you have to make sure that you learn computers. And that incited me, like that actually brought a lot of interest in me to learn computers. My perception, which was there earlier that I will never touch a computer in my life, that complete perception changed after learning C, C++. And I was so lucky when I came back in the second year of engineering, the university started introducing subjects related to computers, and those were optional subjects to the electronic subjects. So I started accepting those subjects. I started taking those subjects that further made me more interested in computers. And another important thing happened, that the failure which happened in my life, that failure brought me to a level where I got rid of failure completely. That fear of failure, which was there inside me since my childhood, I would stop myself from doing anything major because I always had fear of failure inside me. And that was imbibed in me from the education system also. The education system in India actually puts a lot of fear of failure inside you in your early days. Like, and you are compared with others based on the numbers that you score. But that fear of failure, which completely vanished from me after failing in the first year of engineering, that gave me a lot of confidence to do something big in my life. And post my engineering, my father, my eldest maternal uncle, my HOD from my engineering days, they all motivated me to start something on my own. My expectations from life were very simple. I wanted to go out and do jobs in some company and spend the rest of my life working in some or the other company. But my father, my eldest maternal uncle, my HOD, Dr. Jain Chopde from my engineering days, they said that you have something different in you. You have leadership skills in you, and you should definitely start a business on your own. And that's the reason, like when I completed my engineering in 2002, I worked in 2 companies and worked for a very short period of time. And in 2003, I started business with some partners. So it was e-tech support in those days. We started e-tech support as a managed services company, as an outsourced support company. And then post that, I registered ESDS in 2005. And since then, it's been a journey. There have been lots of ups and downs, lots of challenges. When you're doing business in India, it is not so easy. There are lots of challenges doing business in India. But I was lucky that all the things that happened to me during my engineering days, the getting rid of fear of failure, learning computers, and becoming taking more and more interest in advanced technology, new generation technology, all those things brought a massive transformation in me in those days, and that helped me in my entrepreneurship days. So ESDS offerings, I'll quickly run through this. We are, as I mentioned earlier, we are very, very strong when it comes to managed services and R&D. So I have always believed that continuous research is the most important thing to be in the future, to exist in the future, to bring a massive transformation in the journey of yourself and other organizations, so that you can actually give something unique to a country like India. Now, my thought process right from the initial days of the business was that other companies in India only focus on body shopping. Indian companies, Indian IT companies have never focused on creating products. My focus was that I want to create products. I want to bring products in the market, sell products in the market, and take company ESDS to a different level. So products was my key focus, and would like to present a portfolio of our products to you. So we have a very, very strong portfolio of our products: Enlight Cloud, Enlight 360, and then the iPaaS ERP system, the VTM scan, the web VPN. So these are some of our products that we have created. So one thing that I would like to iterate here, like that in India, all the big companies that we know, IT companies that we know, who have got employee strength of 3 lakh, 5 lakh, 7 lakh, They have been spending majority, almost everything that they do is around buying people and selling people. So they buy an employee in rupees and they sell an employee to multiple companies in dollars. And that has been the business model. I never wanted to do that business model. I never wanted to buy people and sell people. I wanted to create something for the future. And that is the reason we have such a strong product portfolio today. My philosophy is that people in India, majority of the people in India spend time. So there are 4 stages in journey of an employee in your career. So once you go out of the college tomorrow, you will also go through a transformation. But in the initial days, almost everyone, all of you would be there only in the first phase of your career, which would be passing the time or surviving in an organization. You get a job in an organization, you enter in an organization and you just find out the ways to survive in that organization. So I call it the first P. There are 4 P's of our life and it is very important. So I'll put off the presentation so that we can have, yeah. So there is the first P of life is passing the time. First P of the career is passing the time in an organization. Then the company starts demanding from you that, okay, we are paying you this much, you have to deliver this to us. So you become professional in that organization. And unfortunately, majority of the organizations in India, majority of the IT companies in India, they are today focusing only, they're putting employees only into the first 2 boxes, which is passing the time and professionalism. Once you actually, so what happens, you are then later on, you are given some project, you become passionate for some subject, and then that project gets completed. You again keep on repeating yourself. The cycle keeps on repeating. You are passing the time in that organization, then becoming professional, and again passionate about the new project that is coming. So you continue to be in that circle all your life. And that is where we tend to lose out an opportunity to do something with a purpose. The purpose is the last P of our career, and that's the most important P in our career. Because if you don't have a purpose in your life, until and unless you discover the purpose of your life, you cannot you cannot get the satisfaction. You don't get that kick inside of doing something great. Like the purpose of ESDS is to reverse the climate change. The purpose of ESDS is to create a technology advanced greener planet. We want to make the earth livable again for everyone. All the animals, all the species, trees, everyone, we've created a lot of trouble for all the other species. Humans are not allowing any other way of life, any other form of life to exist parallelly along with us now on the earth. But ESDS has a mission to create a technology advanced greener planet. It has got a vision and a purpose to each and every product that you see. You will see that the last 3-4 years in the state of Maharashtra, or all the central governments or all the big banks in India, the consumption of paper has reduced. All the big paper mills that have been there in India, like in last 10 years, almost 90% paper mills in India have stopped working. So which means India is slowly moving towards a paperless economy. And we have contributed big time in energy efficiency. All the smart metering projects which are running in India are running from our cloud platform. All the land records or digital transformation that we have brought in the way government functions. Majority of the government departments in Maharashtra, especially because we started our business in Maharashtra, so we have a lot of business of government of Maharashtra. We've brought a major transformation in the government offices in Maharashtra. And banks as well. We know that now the banks, earlier all the documents, all the statements and the passbooks and everything that used to come from a bank, now majority of the banks have become paperless in India. So that we have played a very crucial role there as well. And we are very clear about our purpose, that this is the reason for which we are existing, and we want to continue to contribute in transformation of the country. So thank you very much. I would love to hear some feedback from your side, and would love to have some interaction with you all. Please feel free to ask your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer the questions rather than just keep on presenting my side.
Yeah. So let me thank Piyush for the great motivating speech. Sorry, just a second. Yeah. So what I would say is that given the paperless economy, a paperless thing you are taking as a task, and we know that like we have vehicles called gas guzzlers. Similarly, we have a data center which is energy guzzlers or power guzzlers. So I would like to hear from you. How do you enable that greenness, that is the energy conservation in the platforms that you deploy in the data centers?
Yeah. So if you see the recent budget, the budget is now allowing data centers. So they have actually categorized data centers as an infra business. Plus, they have come up with a lot of facilities and a lot of benefits for power storage. Because in India, you can generate a lot of green power. Like during the daytime, you can get a lot of solar power, but you cannot store that because you don't have so much storage facilities available in India. And all the power discoms, all the power distribution companies in India, they charge exorbitant prices for transferring the solar power from one location to other. And then you are not able to allow to store that and then retrieve that power during the night time. So now with the changes that have come in the budget, where subsidies and benefits are being offered for power storage also. So we will be, data centers will be able to generate solar power during the daytime, store that solar power, whatever is required during the daytime, use that, and nighttime also that power will be helpful. And then besides that, there are a lot of other ways also through which power generation is going to happen, especially the green hydrogen. So green hydrogen is one thing. And then wind power plus the tidal power. So there are lots of ways through which we are trying to, because today the data centers in India are consuming somewhere around 600 megawatts of power. But in less than 12 years time, you will see that this will go beyond 100 gigawatts. The data centers would start consuming hundreds of gigawatts of power in a country like India. This will happen very quickly. Because in Mahape, where we have our Mumbai data center, just close to us, there are 15 new data centers coming up in Navi Mumbai. And the demand that they have requested with MSEDCL is 3 gigawatt. So just in that small area of Mahape in Mumbai, 3 gigawatts of power demand is being generated by the data centers which are coming up. So this will happen very soon. In next 12 years itself, we are going to see that Indian data centers will be consuming 100 gigawatts of power. And for that, we have to generate green power. There is no other option. We will have to focus on green energy sources only. You are on mute, Prakash. Yeah.
I appreciate the 100 gigawatt factors which you mentioned for the data center power consumption. Obviously, alternate sources of energy you have mentioned, they are all on there. But at the same time, power is used for two factors. One is for the cooling, the other is for the circuits to run the data center. And do you see people talk about some server and serverless and all that, and also we have virtualization, we have got containerization. So there are technologies that come into picture. So how do you see that impacting the power requirement? Does it bring any value to the system as such from data center point of view? Because data center, we talk about location, we talk about energy cost, and we talk about the technology cost, which is the major cost. So how do you see that shaping up in your green data centers?
Yeah. So see, definitely the reason cloud is growing is because people want to virtualize, people want to consume more, people want to consume more compute from the infrastructure that is bought. Like there was a report from Gartner in the year 2008 that globally, whatever IT infrastructure is deployed, only 8% of that is consumed. 92% of the capacity used to be idle at that point of time. But due to virtualization, due to cloud computing, no, the utilization of IT infrastructure has improved. And we know what are the reasons why the world is now heading towards digital future. But the biggest challenge in front of us is that now on a motherboard or on between a chip, inside a chip, the distance between 2 points cannot be reduced further below 3 nanometers. So that has become a major challenge now, and because of which the size of the chips cannot shrink further. The cooling which is required for the chips that cannot be so you are not able to figure out a way immediately, or at least next 5 to 7 years. I am sure that any new technology is not going to come which is going to further compact the processing, further compact the further reduce the heating that is happening inside the machines. So that will continue to happen, and because of which I anticipate that such a massive power capacity would be required for data center in just 12 years time. But yeah, it is possible that in the future, maybe 15 years down the line, the complete technology would change. The way compute happens, the way memory is stored, the way storage happens, all of that might change completely, and that might eliminate the need for cooling inside a data center. If cooling goes away, obviously we save 30 to 35% power. And if the way the compute technology currently works, the way chips are made right now, once that changes in the future, that would be a game changer. But until and unless that happens, your power consumption in data centers is going to increase. But if you generate all of that power through green sources, which now seems to be possible, now government seems to be in favor of that, and the power distribution companies will have to allow that to happen right now because their revenue source will go away. That's the reason power companies are not in favor of doing that. But it has to happen very soon. States like Telangana, they are allowing it. Like they are allowing companies to generate their own power, store their own power, get it transported at a very low price. So obviously, all of the other states are also going to attract data centers by giving such schemes, and we are sure that we are going to. But yeah, the focus should be on running your data centers purely on green energy. That is going to be a game changer.
What I would say is change the topic from green to the compliance, because you are dealing with financial transactions, enormous financial transaction. And in the last 4 years, I don't know how much volume it has changed. So given that we are going towards not only paperless, we are also going with transaction online. Uh, how do you see the data centers and the products portfolio you have cover that in current and future years, for at least for another 3 to 5 years? Yeah.
Yeah, so one good thing that has happened during this pandemic is that software as a service has got huge acceptance all of a sudden in India. People have started, like earlier the thought process in an organization that even if I want to do digital transformation in my organization, they created a roadmap, 5-year roadmap, that we will build a data center inside our college, or we will build a data center in our hospital. We will buy servers, put the servers over there, buy the software, take the license from someone, get it implemented from someone, and that would take you at least 2 to 3 years time for the entire journey. But now, due to COVID, like the way colleges immediately adopted learning management system, online examination and admission system. Same way, like the hospitals immediately went for a SaaS-based HIMS solution. For email, people started taking Office 365 and other solutions. So same way, we also got a immediate response for our SaaS offerings. Like the iPass is one of our SaaS offerings, HIMS is a SaaS offering from ESDF. So we are seeing that the country is wanting to quickly transform using SaaS services. SaaS are going to enable the country to have to get into the digital future very quickly. Plus the kind of compute or the kind of licenses or the power consumption and all the wastage of resources that happens in case of running private cloud or in case of running a private on-premise data center, all of those will vanish. SaaS is like 80% to 85% more efficient when it comes to when you compare SaaS, software as a service, with private cloud or running your private data center. So I'm very happy that at least this one major positive that has come out of COVID-19, no, that is helping the country to be in the digital future.
So, diverging again from looking at your background at CCICI, you are the Cloud Council is CEO right now. How do you see the compliances of and the de facto standards and various things that play along with not only your data center, maybe Microsoft, maybe Google, maybe Amazon? How do you see them competing and having some standards that will enable all of us to live together and push for the agenda which we have for the data center for future?
Yeah, so definitely there are, when you want to run a data center business, when you want to run a cloud business, compliance has become very, very important, because data is the new gold. We all know that now, that the data is the new oil, data is the new gold. Data is going to be everything in the future. And it has already started happening. In fact, like if you don't have a data, you cannot run a bank. If you are not you don't have a CDS, or you don't have channels. So there are so many businesses now which will not exist if they do not have their data, or if they there have been so many businesses, like ransomware attack happened in those businesses, and they were completely shut. They did not operate after that. Once the ransomware took over their data and they did not have backups to restore, the business shut down completely after that. So that's the future that we are living in. Compliance has become very important. Backups are very important. You need to have proper strategies in place, multiple different solutions, multiple approaches for one kind of problem. So all of those things become very important. Data localization is very, very important. So government of India is also now slowly trying to force the American companies or the other international players to keep India's data within India. Policies have been brought around that. So I'm pretty sure that slowly we will be more compliant. Today, because we've been forced to very quickly adopt the digital transformation journey due to COVID-19, so we are non-compliant. The country is non-compliant with a lot of compliances. But in next couple of years' time, the country will be more compliant. You will see that the security would have improved significantly. There is a huge scope at the moment. If students want to learn technologies like if they want to be into managed security services or SOC services, there's a massive opportunity in SOC services right now. And besides that, certified cloud engineers, if you get good certifications, AWS certification, Azure certification, Google certification, you are able to get jobs very quickly. Developers are also in a huge demand at the moment, like .NET developer. We've never seen the kind of craze that is there right now to become a .NET developer. And there is a vacuum. For compliances also, every organization needs good people in the compliance department to make sure they are able to, they are compliant with all the norms. And I think so people can choose that also as a career. Like those who are not so inclined towards programming or system administration, cloud operations management, network management, security services, so those can choose the compliance department also in the organizations that they want to work in the future.
I think we should again go back to one of the things which we did not mention, and that is AI and ML. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is automating the data center industry very extremely, and especially due to the edge automation. So I would like to hear from you what kind of future you see in automation and edge computing, which is key for the data center, micro data centers.
Yeah, so definitely AI and ML is now shaping the entire platform. Like for all the data centers and the cloud service providers, everyone has to adopt AI and ML technologies. Like we started working on machine learning in 2009. So the Enlight cloud platform that we have got has got real-time vertical auto scaling technology that we have done using machine learning technology in those days. So because it was not so popular in those days, today it has got a term which is machine learning, but in those days it did not have that term. The machine learning term was not there. Now in everything like robotic process automation, machine learning, AI, artificial intelligence. So I have not seen major use cases for artificial intelligence in India as of now, but machine learning, definitely machine learning and robotic process automation. No, there is a massive deployment happening. Banks are adopting machine learning and robotic process automation. And then this entire smart metering project that is happening, world's largest smart metering project going live in India in multiple phases now. So that's a use case for IoT, a major IoT use case. And then in our data centers also, what we are doing, we have put a lot of IoT sensors and proper dashboards are there. And then through machine learning, we are trying to automate our data centers. We are like in the near future, in a couple of years time, you will see that you won't need to have any electricians in a data center. You won't need to have people measuring temperature manually or doing anything manually inside a data center. You will probably not need like once a data center is made live, probably no human would need to enter inside the data center for a couple of months in a row. So all that is possible using the machine learning and IoT technology. We have done a lot of automation in our Bangalore data center because Bangalore data center is our latest data center. We just launched that in 2020. So there's a lot of automation already done in our Bangalore data center. And once we launch our Delhi data center in the near future, it would have far more advanced technology, and most of those technologies would be innovated inside ESDS and deployed in our forthcoming data center in Delhi.
Excellent. So we have covered now data center, infrastructure, data center, security, privacy. We have covered the AI, ML automation. We have covered the green, which was the first. Coming down to the costs factors, do you see the data center cost factors justify what you call the running of the enterprises at the margins which you have? Do you see you need more help from government, or you need more collaboration from other international partners? What do you see in that respect?
So there is definitely a need for data center players to synergize, cloud service providers to synergize, and it has to be a win-win strategy. And we together, like as a president of CCICI at the moment, I have reached out to the government, to Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, to allow to create an environment for interoperability. Because tomorrow it should not be that you are going on one cloud platform and then you cannot exit that cloud platform. Today, at least that is happening in case of some of the cloud service providers. So if you go on one of the cloud platforms, then exiting that cloud platform becomes a big challenge. And we've been doing that. Many customers, like because they implement a cloud first strategy in in their organization, they come up with a tender or an RFQ, and then they get onboarded on a cloud platform, and then it becomes a nightmare for them. So cloud has also created problems for an organization where the planning has not been proper, where they did not take proper backup, where they did not have a proper backup strategy also. Exit strategy was not there in place, that how will I exit this cloud platform? And when the time comes to exit, it becomes a nightmare. But being a Indian cloud service provider, having such strong managed services practices, we help people to migrate from one cloud to other cloud platform. We've developed our own product, like Enlight 360 has capability to seamlessly migrate data from one platform to other platform. That same thing we have pitched to the government, that interoperability, the testbed for interoperability should be like this. A basic structure has been created. Our entire CCICI team, which is working on it, they have come up with a very good proposal. So we are hopeful that METI would sponsor that, fund that project, and we will have a very strong interoperability practice. We'll have a very strong process around that, and then that will be implemented by the government and enforced upon all the cloud service providers in India.
My side, the last question I put before I hand over to Vipin. I have seen that the Kubernetes has become the de facto standard for most of the application. People want to do containerized workloads, and workload is a key concept in managing, whether it is a hosted, whether it's co-located, whether it is remote access. So how do you see the play of underlay versus overlay in the data centers? And because you have got both the SaaS, you've got the platform, enlightened platform, and you've got the infrastructure. So since you are dealing in all three layers, I would like to know what exactly your thinking is on this one.
So definitely now containerization, Kubernetes, it has started playing a very crucial role, and the entire thing of like all the efforts which were getting duplicated in the cloud environment. So all these new technologies have started helping big time in reducing that, bringing more and more automation in infrastructure as a service. So serverless computing or Kubernetes or the entire way, the entire container concept which is there. No? So it is actually around solving, bringing more automation in infrastructure as a service. But definitely the biggest thing that I would like to repeat is going to happen is software as a service, because until and unless people identify the software as a service which is going to work for their organization. Now, the biggest challenge today is that there are very few properly designed SaaS offerings which are going to work for you. Like for mailing, you have got like Google's G Suite or Office 365. And for CRM, you have softwares. For ERP, you have got software. But there are a lot of other solutions where you need a SaaS. Like for HIMS, there are no good SaaS players in the market who are like multi-billion-dollar, earning multi-billion-dollar just from a SaaS offering of HIMS. Same way, like for manufacturing companies, you don't have so many SaaS offerings, or for aviation sector, you don't have SaaS offerings. So there are multiple different business verticals where there are no SaaS offerings. For pharma sector also, I have not seen many offerings for the pharma sector SaaS offering. But that is happening in the US. There are local SaaS players who are addressing small who have smaller numbers at the moment, but they are addressing the local SMEs, MSMEs in the US. So I think so that culture also needs to come in India. If students want to launch something on their own, they want to come up with a startup, I would suggest that they launch a SaaS startup in India. We've seen the kind of response the share markets are also giving to the SaaS companies. So this is the best time to get started with a SaaS business in India.
I think Fantastic. I loved your answers, and this is, you can see we have not even spoken about what we are going to talk, and it was wonderful. I think this is time for me to hand over to Vipin. Go ahead, you have a lot more open source and security questions, you can handle that. Go ahead, Vipin.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Prakash, and thanks, Piyush, for answering all these things. So, Piyush, I have a question regarding as you showed in your screen that BT is also working on cloud, and nowadays, like every government organization is looking into these private cloud of infrastructure more. So, what do you think, like, in terms of data centers, like, is it specific requirements, for example, from the data plane point of view in terms of throughput and latency? So if you can tell us more about the standards, or do we have some standards in India that we can follow for data centers?
Yeah. So see, the most challenging thing that the data centers are going to experience in the future would be how they can give lowest latency to the customers. So improving the overall connectivity in India is a major priority at the moment. And from the standards point of view, there are definitely, like in case of data centers, so you have to follow a lot of standards. Now you need to have so many ISOs in place, all those ISO practices in place in the organization. And you need to have a lot of people who are internal auditors in the entire process. So we have lots of internal auditors who keep on doing all our audits around all our standards, which are those followed or not, or all the processes that we have implemented in the organization, whether we are able to properly follow those processes. And with time, when the processes get further enhanced, you have to again re-implement that and ensure. So entire culture of the organization needs to change. So that's the foreign data centers, when they come to a country like India, they get an advantage over there, that they have established processes which they run outside India, and they replicate the same in India. But when a data center company starts out of India, you do not have all those things in place. So with time, you have to implement all of those things. Like in case of now ESDS, because we've been there in this business from last 12 years, no? So a lot of systematic changes have been done, and we've spent a lot of time to correct the culture of the organization. In the initial days, only getting customers and providing services to the customers becomes your priority. You do not focus on implementing a complete management system in place, which is going to make the business automatic. Like the way East India Company ruled the world, they created processes in place, and through those processes, they were able to rule more than 50 countries. So same has to be there in case of Indian data centers also, that you first focus on where people, like when they start a startup. Like I'm not sure how many of the students may want to start their own data center in the future. But if you join a data center in the future, or if you start your own startup also, the day one focus has to be to implement proper processes, follow all the international standards, all the standards which are relevant to your business, and also make sure that all the SOPs are there in place, policies are there in place, and people strictly adhere to all the policies. They respect all the systems and processes which are implemented in an organization for the better future of the organization.
Yeah, thanks, Piyush. Also, I want to add one more, like, things like, and also, what do you think about like micro data center? Means at the edge node, or let's say in the university, if you have 50 colleges, in that case, let's suppose if we can make small data centers at each college, and then make a central data center at the university level, or what do you think about this kind of architecture? Is it possible in India, and what is the future you see of data centers in India? As such, that should we move to more public clouds, or instead of our own data centers, or should we have our own data centers and less towards cloud? So how you see this?
Yeah. So good question, Vipin. See, like edge data centers and micro data centers, they also have a very good future, because I'll give you an example. When let's say all the drones, let's say 10,000 drones or 20,000 drones, they'll be flying on the China border. Okay. And how will they connect? Like how will how the data would synchronize between them, or whatever information they are collecting, whatever camera feeds that they are getting, how are they going to give that data to a data center in Bombay? So it's going to be a challenging thing over there. That's the reason you will need a edge data center very close to them, probably a huge truck running a data center inside it itself, a edge data center inside it, and then all the drones giving that data to that edge data center, and then that edge data center giving that data to the centralized data center which is there in Mumbai or Delhi. That is how the future is going to run. All your Teslas in the future, they will have heavy duty computing running inside the car. So that itself, it won't be called as a micro data center inside a moving vehicle, but it would be an edge data center. Looking at the data center definition, it would be a data center running inside a Tesla vehicle also. And flying drones, another 4 or 5 years, maybe you will see aerial taxis using the drone technology, using all the drones, aerial drones, now passenger drones. So all of that is also going to require a lot of edge data centers, micro data centers. So hybrid is the way forward. It cannot be the centralized data centers alone. Hybrid is the way forward, where you will have micro data centers, edge data centers, and centralized huge data centers also in place to create a hybrid cloud environment.
Yeah, this is really, really important as well, to add this kind of hybrid cloud and hybrid infrastructure in this whole ecosystem. But we have more questions, but as we are running out of time, so hopefully we will call you again and can continue this interesting sessions again. But thanks Piyush. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, and thanks Prakash for having us with us. And thank you guys. I think we have to move on next session.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vipin. Thanks, Prakash.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Vipin. Yeah. Bye.